Hey, JK here. I want to thank you for sharing part of your day with me. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we are past the All-Star break, and we are almost past the wonky weeks that the All-Star break brings. You have 1 week, and then half a week, or half a week, then a whole week. All but one of my leagues, that's not the Cheese Weasels, that is Roto, it's every day. All but one of them had the long week and then the half week. The Fantrax League, the Funky Junky Joker Monkeys, is the one that did the half week and then the whole week. So I'm currently finishing the wonky week for the All-Star break. So we will go ahead and start with them. The Funky Junky Joker Monkeys did play July 7th through July 13th. That was a full week for them. And we came up with a big win, 584 to 500. Our top scorer was Freddie Peralta with 54. Then Christopher Sanchez got me 48. And then Nick Pivetta got me 40. We also had 5 guys who got me 20 plus. And then 3 guys that got me 30 plus. So there was a combined 8 guys who got at least 20 points from me, on top of the guys that got me 40 plus. So that was awesome. The only guy that really disappointed was Kyler Montero, which that wasn't shocking. We knew he wasn't going to go a long way in the game, or he was going to piggyback and hopefully get a cheap win as the Tigers were leading, but it's all good. 4.5 points. Obviously enough to still get me the win. Speaking of Kyler Montero, though, he was one of our ads this week, along with Logan Allen, Pete Fairbanks, Simeon Woods Richardson, and Brendan Allen. The drops did also include Logan Allen, Simeon Woods Richardson, Shelby Miller after he got hurt, Anthony DeSclafani after he didn't have a great start, but then picked up a save, and I didn't have him for that, and Shane Smith. So, sitting at 13-3, feeling good about this upcoming week. Just keep riding this strong wave. I have Pivetta. I have Sanchez. Those 2 guys are chef's kiss for me. They've been great. Hoping to continue riding them. Freddie Peralta, just keep getting stronger, baby. Keep doing what you're doing. And my offense, y'all are showing up. Y'all aren't showing out. And that's perfectly fine. Again, 13-3, not going to complain. Next, we're going to move to the Cheese Weasels, the only other team that's not necessarily impacted by the wonky weeks. We are still in 7th place and still only have 83 points. Talked about it before the break. We're going to have to start making tough decisions. We're going to have to really ramp up the pitching. And we're going to have to get rid of the dead weight on offense. So let's go ahead and get this started. Let's talk about some of the stats we had over the last 2 weeks, you know, the gems, the home runs, the wins, saves, stuff like that. And then we'll talk about some of the guys that didn't do as well, mainly the guys that just imploded, or some of the stats that we missed, unfortunately. We had at least 1 home run from Agustin Ramirez, Sal Frelick, Spencer Torkelson, and Marcell Ozuna. And we had at least 2 home runs from Zach Neto and Christian Illich. And we had at least 3 home runs from Taylor Ward. Then we had wins from Ryan Nelson, Noah Cameron, Emilio Pagan, and Tommy Canley when he wasn't imploding. We also had gems from Brandon Woodruff, who only went 4 and some odd innings, had 10 strikeouts. Then we also had 2 great games from Spencer Strider, combined 1 win, 19 strikeouts. Woo-hoo, baby. We had 2 holds each from Louis Varland and Juan Uribe. Juan Uribe also had 1 save, along with Pete Fairbanks and Emilio Pagan, and Daniel Palencia picked up 3 saves for me. On the other side, we had blown saves from also Pete Fairbanks and Abner Uribe. We also missed a gem, I guess you could call it a gem, from Tyler Glasnow, his first game back. 5 innings pitched, 0 earned runs, and 5 strikeouts. Also, we missed a hold from Abner Uribe. We also missed 2 home runs and 2 stolen bases from Mr. Lawrence Butler, and a home run from Marcell Ozuna. So definitely going to have to start making some tough ads and tough drops. And that is where you will see them now. We made several over the last 2 weeks, trying to eventually get back into it, especially with pitching. I didn't realize how far I'd fallen behind, especially in the wins. I'm like 12 wins behind first base, which is crazy. We're doing well in holds. We're doing well in strikes. Definitely need to step up in saves, though. So we did pick up a few other guys, specifically for saves. We really have to step up offense. We're doing decent, but obviously more points are better. Duh. But pitching is really where I'm going to be just really going full blast. We need to get wins. We need to get saves. Need to get strikes. In offense, you're really going to be the one that have to pick it up. Hitting is the bane of my existence in this league. Pitching, not a problem. It's the hitting. Now we're going to hop on over to the ESPN leagues and talk about the Peach Creek Purgatory team. This week they came up with a big win to get to 14-2, 15-31 to 11-94. Our top scorer was Eugenio Suarez with 118 points, followed by Nick Pavetta with 103. I had two guys, Freddie Peralta and Corey Seager, with 94. And then I had 9 guys with at least 50 points. Woo-hoo! They came to play these last 2 weeks. The only guy that really disappointed was Max Fried. Did not have a good start and only got me -3. So, lucky I didn't need you, but that's not good. You've been dominant all season. We'll give you a clunker, but let's not have too many more of those, especially now we're closing to the end of the season. Yankees, you definitely need to pick up the pace in the AL East. Please don't fall any more games behind the Blue Jays, because who knows what's going to happen, especially at the trade deadline. Please, go get Seth Lugo. Please, just go get him. The guys' drops were pretty short these last 2 weeks. We added Samuel Richardson because he had a great matchup with the Pirates before the All-Star break, and Adrian Morejon, who is a reliever for the Padres. We dropped Chad Patrick, who was optioned down to AAA because the Brewers are loaded with pitching, especially coming off the IL. And then also Justin Robleski, the guy for the Dodgers, who has a funny last name. So right now sitting at 14-2, definitely not upset about it, but definitely not content, because it's cool to win the regular season. I mean, ask the 07 Patriots. It was cool to go undefeated in the regular season, but they lost the most important game, so I do not want to end up like that. So let's go. Make sure we keep our foot on the pedal and get the last few wins and win another championship. Next thing we're talking about is the South Harmon Institute of Technology, and these last 2 weeks I was really scared because I was going against one of the worst teams in the league, and we know how I do against the worst teams in the league. I just collapse. I don't make good decisions, and I make it so much closer than it needs to be. Well, this week, the guy that I was playing decided that, I'm going to start making moves for the first time in 2 months. And at one point in time, he held like a 10-category lead on me. So, honest to goodness, I was just hoping to narrow it down. Luckily, on Sunday, of all days, because everyone knows Saturday and Sunday I collapse, Sunday is my worst day, I was able to make a huge comeback and actually win 10 categories to 6 categories to 2 categories. There were some that were pretty close. I only won by 1 hit and won by 1 run, so that was great. There were some that I lost very closely. I lost by 2 strikeouts, so I should have started this person or that person, whatever it may be. With Tommy Canley collapsing, I'm surprised that I won ERA and WHIP, but I did. And then there were some that were so much more incredibly close, not just like one, like the hits and runs, but batting average. You can see now that we both have 252-1. So then when you break it down, they had a certain number of hits. I had a certain number of hits. We both had a certain number of at-bats, and they won by, 3 millionths of a point, 300 millionths of a point. Like, it's ridiculous. It was so close. Now, I still had hope going in that I could grab one more category because he had Marcus Semien and Tariq Skubal was pitching. So I was like, look, Marcus, you've been doing well, but this is Tariq Skubal. Probably not getting ahead. So he missed, the first inning, he missed his at-bat or didn't get the at-bat, didn't get hit, however you want to say it. Went down from 256 to 254. I was like, oh, okay. Then missed it again. Went down a little more. Didn't go quite down as much. I was like, wait a minute. You should be going down more. Well, I end up falling asleep, and I wake up and immediately look and see that Semien went over 4. I was like, what? Did I pick up a category? And this is where we're at. Some of our top performers did include Eugenio Suarez, who had 34 total bases, 7 home runs, and 12 RBIs. Good Lord. Taylor Ward also had 12 RBIs. Want to shoot him a thank you so much for what you did for me. So that's awesome. Then we had Salvador Perez, who got 30 total bases, 5 home runs, and only 6 RBIs. Let's get some ducks on the pond Royals. Miguel Garcia, Bobby Witt Jr., What are you doing? Jonathan India, get a walk, get on base. Let Salvi bring you around. Come on, let's do this. Also, Brent Rooker had 27 total bases, 3 home runs, 8 RBIs, so that was good. Pitching-wise, we had 14 strikeouts from Christopher Sanchez, 13 strikeouts from Nick Pivetta, 10 strikeouts from Brandon Woodruff, and we had 3 saves in our holds each from Cade Smith and Abner Uribe. On the other side, Tommy Kahnle. What happened? Luckily, I did not have him in after his first implosion, so he only had 4 earned runs in 2/3 of an inning, so that was a 54 ERA, which, again, was not enough to make me lose ERA or whip, so thank you. Good Lord, thank you. And somehow he was not one who had a blown save. I had 4 blown saves this week, none of them from Kahnle. I refuse to believe that. They did, in fact, however, come from Will Vest, Abner Uribe, Brian Abreu, and Cade Smith, which, again, those are top guys. Didn't realize all those guys were giving up blown saves, but it was a 2-week span, so it's all good. Then we had very cold 2 weeks at the plate from, of all guys, Francisco Lindor, Freddie Freeman, and Yainer Diaz. Yainer Diaz was found in your life, man, and then back down to like 230 something. I think tonight you were like 239 before the game started. Salvi's up to 251. Thank you, sir. Now let's move to the adds and drops. We added Brian King from the Astros because Tommy Kahnle was too scary. And this is a saves holds league, so they're combined. So sitting at 138, 99, and 51. We're in good shape. But again, not wanting to be complacent. Not wanting to be satisfied, because it's cool to be doing well in the regular season, but we want to be doing well in the playoffs. And it was heartbreaking last year. I missed the playoffs by half a game in this league and the Wrestle My Gym Jams league. So do not want to leave anything to chance. Want to get as many wins as possible, so there's no half game with a tie or have to make sure we win by this. And don't want to do that. Just make sure you're one of the top teams and you don't have to worry about it. As we mentioned, Wrestle My Gym Jams, let's go ahead and talk about them. These past 2 weeks with the wonky All-Star weeks, we got folded. 3 wins, 11 losses, and 2 ties. We were close in some pitching, which the only 3 we won. Nowhere close in the offensive categories. My guys just did not perform well. Unfortunately, they decided to take a break along with the other All-Stars, so disappointing. Not the worst thing in the world. However, in the last 4 weeks, because the 2 wonky weeks, we have fallen from 2nd place to 4th place, now to 5th. There's still a 1.5 game between 3rd and 5th, so I'm not terribly worried about it, but do not want to be complacent. We have a record of 115, 141. So last year, we won 138 games. I want to surpass that. I don't want that to be the benchmark. I want that to be long gone in, ideally, 3 weeks. But that's going to take a lot of work and a lot of big brain play. Because unfortunately, we have had several injuries and had some terrible performances by guys that I need you to do better. Let's go ahead and talk about some of the guys that did do well. Xavier Edwards led us these last 2 weeks in extra base hits. He had 8. He also had 7 RBIs. Taylor Ward had 7 extra base hits and 12 RBIs. Thank you, sir, for all what you've done for me. We also had CJ Abrams and Jose Altuve both getting at least 5 extra base hits, 5 RBIs, and 1 home run. We also had 11 total holds and 2 saves. We also had 20 strikeouts from Mr. Nick Pivetta and 14 strikeouts from Mr. Christopher Sanchez. Thanks for what you've done for me. On the other side, we had some just pretty bad outings and bad performances in general. Mainly Tommy Kahnle. Yeah, mainly you, buddy. You really didn't help me any. We also had a bad outing from Jason Adam, which I'll forgive him a little bit. He's only had like 1 the entire year. Also bad starts from Clay Holmes and Jansen Junk. I finally get Junk on my team, and Junk goes to the trunk. We also had very cold performances at the plate. Now, some of these guys, I'm going to say they did poorly, and you're like, well, wait a minute, they hit a home run, or they did this. Yeah, well, I missed that. Helio Ramos, Hunter Goodman, Larry Butler, Nate Lowe, Otto Lopez, and Gavin Sheets. Now, I know for a fact I missed at least 2 home runs from Butler, 1 home run from Goodman, 2 stolen bases from Butler as well. I think I missed a home run by Otto Lopez. Definitely missed a home run by Gavin Sheets. Probably missed a few hits from Helio Ramos. So, yeah, I know I messed up there, but they were cold for me when I started them. And we had a lot of adds and drops, so take a look at those. It's going to be important for us to make important adds and drops these last few weeks, because we have to make sure we stay in the hunt. Top 6, we have to stay in there. So we're on the cusp right now. However, the last few weeks, we have the toughest opponents. I think we have 2 opponents that are not in the top 5. The rest are in the top 5. So it's like, golly, which I would have to play them anyway, but come on, man. Like, give me a little something to ease it to the playoffs with, you know? So it's going to be important. And that might be a dead weight thing to drop again. We had really poor performances, like we talked about, from Nate Lowe, from Josh Lowe, from Gavin Sheets. Are those guys we need to get off? I think about it, and then I'm like, wait a minute. Nate Lowe has 60-plus RBIs for us and 30-plus extra base hits. Is that someone I need to get rid of? He's only hitting 220. Then I also look at Mr. Josh Lowe, his brother, and he has played like 150, or has 150 less at-bats than Lawrence Butler, and has 20 walks opposed to Butler's like 35 walks. Is Josh Lowe going to be the guy that needs to be in? I don't know. It's just something to think about, because I know tonight I didn't start Butler, and he had a home run. Crap. Overall, I think my pitching approach has really been something that helped me. Yes, I'm going to give up the strikeouts. Yes, I'm going to give up the wins most of the time. But I'm going to get holds. I wish I could get some more saves, but, you know, we'll see. Picked up a few guys there. Most of the time I'm going to win ERA and WHIP, so that's good. So I can guarantee at least 3 or 4 wins, but offense is really where I need to step up. I was thinking stolen bases might be something I always have, because I have some, you know, speedsters. But that's always something that's up in the air, because if they're not getting on base, they can't steal a base. The last team we get to talk about is the Kent Murphy Dingers. I saved the Kent Murphy Dingers for last because this was the most frustrating loss of the week. 3 categories, 5 categories. And I say most frustrating because I had every opportunity to win. We're going to talk about some of the guys that did well, but mainly I want to talk about what I missed. I missed 7 home runs. I didn't even add up the RBIs I missed, but we know at least 7 RBIs. I lost by 10 RBIs. You gotta be able to say I would have picked up another 10 RBIs if I started those guys. I also lost ERA and WHIP, likely thanks to a few things. 1, Tommy Canley. 2, this is like the 4th week in a row. I'm not making excuses. It doesn't sound like I am. But when I put a pitcher in, he hasn't been in. One of them being Reese Olson. I didn't start him against the Rangers purposely, and he had like 5 or 6, pretty good innings and a few strikeouts. But that one was purposeful because the Rangers were hot. He had a good start. But I didn't start Rodon against the Cubs, and he went like 7 or 8 and had 6 strikeouts, a win, and 0 ERA. Well, I wouldn't have started Rodon. He's one of my stars. Start your studs, right? So that happened a few times in the past few weeks. Again, not making excuses because I sound like I am. It didn't come back to bite me too much. This time it may have come back to bite me. Now, at the end of the day, Jeffrey Springs, you didn't do well for me. Hunter Brown, you had a clunker of a start and only had like 6 strikeouts and 2 starts. Definitely should have done better there. Jansen Junk didn't do well. Tommy Canley, we talked about, not great. So there were definitely some other contributors to that. So frustrating because I should have and could have won. But shoulda, coulda, woulda. Let's go ahead and get to the guys that did well for us. We had 2 home runs each from Christian Yelich, Riley Green, and Zach Neto. We had 1 home run each from Sal Frelick, Wilson Contreras, Jose Altuve, Shea Langoliers. I also missed one from him, and Matt Olson, so pretty happy with their performances. We had 2 stolen bases each from Sal Frelick, Zach Neto, and Chandler Simpson. We had 7 RBIs from Mr. Jose Altuve, 6 RBIs from Mr. Matt Olson, and pitching-wise, oh, baby, we talked about the terrible outings from a few of the guys, but Nick Pivetta, 20 strikeouts, 1 win. Hunter Brown, you had 18 strikeouts, 0 wins, and a 7.2 ERA. What are you doing, dude? Christopher Sanchez had 14 strikeouts and 1 win. Brian Wu and Seth Lugo had 10 strikeouts each and no wins. That's pretty unfortunate. We also had Will Vest and Daniel Palencia getting at least 2 saves each. Now, we already talked about how bad the pitching was, but I want to reiterate how bad Tommy Kahnle was, because we did leave him in there for all 3 of his implosions. He was able to go a total of 1 2/3 of an inning, getting me 0 strikeouts, giving up 8 hits and 3 walks, 9 earned runs, giving him a 48+ ERA. What in God's name happened, dude? What happened? You had a low 2 ERA and it's up to 4+. Good Lord, man. Adds and drops helped us a little bit and then also hurt us. We added Bubba Chandler because, hey, Pirates, you need to try to get him up. Maybe pitch a few games. Give a little bit of run support to Mr. Paul Skeens, and then you'll see maybe Bubba Chandler want to come up a little bit sooner and, you know, get some stuff done. That would be nice, but whatever. Because Shelby Miller went down, we added Ronnie Enriquez because we needed saves. Well, he plays for the Marlins, so I'm not expecting too many. But he promptly came in, blew a save, didn't help our ERA or whip, but did get us a win, so that's good. Then we also picked up other pitchers, Zach Little, Jansen Junk, and Jeffrey Springs, along with third baseman Ryan McMahon, because we had Mr. Alec Bohm go down. I've offered a few trades here and there, trying to get a third baseman. In my opinion, giving a very good offer, because need a third baseman. Don't know how long Mr. Bohm is going to be out, but we'll see. On the other side, to make room for those new guys that didn't quite get us over the hump, we did drop Jackson Merrill, which you might be thinking, what? Jackson Merrill? He wasn't performing, man. I mean, he was hitting 260. I think he got as low as 259. 30 runs, 30 RBIs, not stealing bases, single-digit home runs. Just not doing it for me. He was my first round pick. That was unfortunate. So maybe if no one else picks him up and he starts picking it up, I mean, you're in that Padres lineup, you gotta be able to do something. But we'll see. We also dropped Tommy Kahnle, Shelby Miller, and Zach Little. So right now, we're sitting at 9-3-2. 2 of my 3 losses came to this guy we lost to this week. That's super frustrating, super unfortunate, but it is what it is, man. We're going to just stay on the horse, try to stay on the horse, get back on it. Hopefully it doesn't bump us off. Now let's go ahead and move to the people I think you should add, and these suggestions come from the last 2 days with injuries and are just with what I think is going to happen. First guy, I've already picked him up in several of my leagues, Kirby Yates. Tanner Scott went down last night after his 22nd pitch, I believe, 22nd, 23rd. Felt a sting in his forearm. Now, I'm not a pitcher, but I know that's not how it's supposed to be. Again, especially with how hard he throws. Definitely look up Kirby Yates. He has done the job in Atlanta. He's done the job in Texas. Gotten to both pretty far. Also, if you are looking at trade partners, anyone for the Cardinals, especially some of the big names, they could very well be on the move because they were finally addressed by their owner. Hey, we're going to be guys trading at the deadline. So, Sonny Gray, Helsley, Arenado, Donovan maybe? I don't know. So, those are guys depending on if you have them and want to get rid of them. If you want them because you think they're going to go to a contender, which more than likely they will. Those could be guys to target. I love Nolan Arenado, so if he goes to the Yankees, that would make me pretty happy. So again, any Cardinals guys that are going to be going to better teams, and I mean most of them are already taken, but again, Lars Nootbaar could be someone dealt right now. He's got a intercostal injury essentially. But once he comes back, he's a walk master. I also want to bring your attention to Xavier Edwards. Now, you might already know about him. You might be like, yeah, man, I've had him forever. He's already taken my league. He steals bases, almost up to 20 right now. He led our team the last few weeks in the wonky weeks with 8 extra base hits, so definitely doing his work. And that's not a bad Marlins team. Otto Lopez, Kyle Stowers, Xavier Edwards, like we talked about, Agustin Ramirez. Those 4 guys right there can get the job done. Bring my boy Connor Norby back, find his life, not hit 240. He did break a hamate bone, so he will not have as much power when he comes back. That hurts my heart because he was like a 30 home run guy we were expecting. So yeah, that hurts my heart. The last 2 guys I want to talk about are coming off the IL. So if you have them, keep them stored. If you don't have them, see if you can buy low on them. Shane Bieber and Nestor Cortez. Shane Bieber is going to be in a good-looking division, and he's going to have J-Ram leading his offense. Hopefully J-Ram can keep it up. Then Nestor Cortez is going to be going into a plentiful amount of pitching for the Brewers. He might not have a spot, but try to see if you can talk him down to get him, because he got roughed up by the Yankees and had a great start in the second start of the season. Obviously went down, been out. So it's going to take a little bit to ramp up, so that could be like make his first start, not the best. Okay, yeah, man, just go ahead and send him to me. Could be something, because he did prove to be pretty vital, especially for the Yankees this past few years. So yeah, those are the guys I think you should add. A lot of rambling on about the ads, but hey, I need to make sure I get my point across, because if I just say add a Marlins player, you're going to be like, no, they suck. They're terrible. Speaking of teams that are bad, Mickey Moniak plays for the Rockies. Pick him up. I picked him up tonight, and he got me a home run, so thank you, sir. That's going to do it for the ads and drops. That last minute one, glad we were able to get that in. Talking about bad teams, and probably not even one you have on your team from those teams. So we're going to be looking to continue to improve, keep on the winning ways, keep on the up and up. I hope y'all's teams are doing well. Also, we did end up losing in the All-Star game, and Byron Buxton did not do well. I was really hoping for Junior Caminero. Obviously, the ESPN people needed Cal Raleigh to win. I wish he would have been knocked out. MLB and ESPN, they needed him to keep going. That's why they made that really cheap measurement. Whatever. So yeah, that's who we wanted to win. That's who we think should have won, but whatever. That's going to do it for the recap. That's going to do it for the ads. That's going to do it for the wonky weeks at the end of this week. So we're looking forward to talking to you again next week, and again, getting on our winning ways. This is JK, and I want to thank you for sharing part of your day with me.